Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark, the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 1931 Brazilian silent experimental film, Limite. Hey, that's not fair. Let's have a little bit of excitement here. There's no reason to be down in the dumps. I think this is going to be a pretty good review. If this is your first time joining me, I'm reviewing every movie in this book, the 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die. Limite is considered to be one of, if not the greatest Brazilian film ever made. It is completely silent except for its soundtrack. There's only like 3 title cards in the entire movie, and they're all 3 at the end, and they're all 3 not in English with no subtitles and no captions, so I had absolutely no idea what they said. Now you really have to rely on mood, atmosphere, and visual symbolism to kind of guide you on your way as you're floating along in this boat with these characters. Now, this movie is heavily influenced by European avant-garde cinema. It tells a non-linear story of 3 characters who are adrift at sea, and you can really feel these characters' despair and their loss of freedom as they are slowly drifting to their deaths. This movie prioritizes mood, atmosphere, visual symbolisms over a traditional narrative. The editing and camera style are way ahead of its time. It was nearly lost for decades, and Pixoto, I believe that's the name of the director, never made another movie before or after this, so he was a one-and-done director, and the actor and actresses in this movie also appear to have been one-and-done. I can't find anything else about their acting careers before or after this, so I think they all just made this one movie and stopped, which added to the mystique of this movie and added to the cult-like following of people trying to figure out why this group of 4 people made this movie, considered to be the greatest Brazilian film ever made, and then never made another film. Now, when this movie starts, we have 3 people who are on a boat, 2 women and 1 gentleman. They are all in varying degrees of giving up and just letting the boat float to their deaths. The first woman is lying on the ground of the boat, like the floor of the boat. She's barely moving. You can tell that she's completely given up on life. The gentleman in the boat is hunched over. He's very emotional. You can tell that he's kind of in this stage where he believes he's going to die out in the middle of the ocean. And the third woman is trying to paddle. She's trying to ration food. She's trying to ration water. She's actually like the only one who's trying, the only one who has a little bit of hope left in her heart that one day they will get off of this boat that is drifting. Now, throughout the movie, we learn who these 3 people are. One woman has escaped from prison, and she is currently being pursued by the authorities. The second woman has left an abusive marriage, and her husband was an alcoholic. And the gentleman is mourning the loss of a lover whom was married, so he was helping her commit adultery, and now he is basically, they're all kind of dealing with the mistakes that they made in life out on this boat. Now, I thought the boat scenes in this movie were absolutely phenomenal. You can just tell the despair and the distraught nature of the 3 people and how they don't believe they're going to survive, how they think that these are kind of their last moments left on Earth. And the dreamlike sequences of the flashbacks, the cinematography, the music in this movie is absolutely phenomenal. It all helps paint this dreary picture of what's going on in this boat, and the ocean scenes are absolutely phenomenal. What they do with this camera is amazing. You can tell that they have it on pulley systems at times because they're high above and like trees and on these like railroad like poles up near railroad tracks. There's also scenes in this movie where the camera is only pointed up at a tree, so you can definitely see that the movie's called Limite, which I think means limits, testing the limits, and you can definitely see this because it's not a movie where they're trying to box the scenery into a box. Like, you can actually look up into the sky and see that there's something there, that there's no limits to how far the Earth goes and how far the camera goes, and it's really quite stunning. It's quite beautiful what they're doing with this camera work and how they're treating the camera. I thought the cinematography was amazing. I thought that the music was also incredible in this movie. There's also weird scenes where the camera seems to like topple and turn and twist, and it gets you a bit seasick, but that's okay too. There's beautiful scenery in this movie. They have trees and beach scenes and foliage everywhere, and it's just great outdoor scenic shots and cinematography. It looks absolutely amazing. The movie itself is gorgeous. You couldn't ask for more beautiful cinematography, especially from a movie from 1931. It's absolutely amazing. I'm assuming this was also like a low budget type of movie that was done on a shoestring, and it's just phenomenal. I think that the cinematography and the sound, the music is amazing. My only complaint with this movie is that it's 2 hours long, a movie with no title cards and no dialogue. I'm fine with not having my hand held through a movie where you have to kind of figure out what's going on yourself, but the way the camera flips and turns, and there's all these quick cuts and quick edits, and it's hard to tell what's going on at certain times. It's a bit confusing as to what's going on with these people's stories. And I went on Wikipedia and I read that the man who's grieving for the loss of his lover had leprosy. Maybe it was on one of the title cards I couldn't read because the title cards weren't in English, but I don't know how anyone would have gathered that or would have known that just from watching this movie. It had to have been on a title card, because I'm like, there's no way. I don't remember the movie ever telling me in any fashion that this woman died of leprosy. So there are parts of it that I was definitely confused about. And I hate to say this because I know this movie is very beloved. A lot of people swear by this movie, but it's kind of boring. It's kind of slow. It kind of drags. I thought the pacing was really slow, like just abysmally slow. A snail's pace is how this movie travels. It took me 3 days to watch this movie, different sittings each time. I thought it was incredibly slow, incredibly boring. I realized that the ocean scenes are supposed to be really slow, and they're kind of slowly drifting out to their death, and it's not supposed to be a fast-paced movie, but it didn't capture my attention. I had a hard time paying attention to this movie, and for a film that has no dialogue and no cards where you really have to pay attention to what's going on, I think that I really suffered there because I saw myself looking away a lot, and I was busy with other things, and I just had a really hard time following it. So it was incredibly confusing to me and incredibly slow. And I didn't think that it always did a great job in trying to tell you what was going on and trying to show you what was happening in the movie. You really have to do a lot of digging to figure out what's going on. All in all, though, I thought this movie was really good. I think a lot of it is ahead of its time. I'm not usually a huge experimental film fan, but there are a lot of things that I appreciate about this movie. And I also am intrigued that the director and actors never made another film, and I also wonder why that was the case. So I'm not going to dig into it too much, but I give this movie 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was good. I don't think it's the best film ever made out of Brazil. I personally still think City of God is better. You could hate me for that if you want, but this movie is not entertaining to me. I appreciate what's going on in it. I appreciate why it's famous and why everyone loves it. But at the end of the day, it's just not something that I would ever want to watch again. So I give it 7.5 out of 10. I hope you join me next time when I review a movie called Taboo. Thank you.